1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Southside Pod!
And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. We're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen,
Southside Pod!
Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup 2. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod!
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
I'm sitting in Horse Thief Hollow with a couple of award winners right here, winners of an amazing award, big deal for brewers, and I want to introduce you to Jake, and I want to introduce you to Morrison, the brewers behind Little Wing.
That's right.
Gold medal award winner, World Beer Cup. First of all, how did it feel when you heard your name get called? Is that what they do? They call your name when you're doing this?
Yeah, they. He could speak for himself, but I was ecstatic. He called me and told me about it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, so there's actually an awards ceremony. They do it on stage, and
do you know in advance going to the ceremony that you've won something, but you don't know what you won?
No. So you have to elect to attend. It was in Nashville, so
okay.
We actually stayed back. It was a craft brewers conference, but we're really busy over here, so we were just hanging out brewing, and we didn't even watch the live stream of the award ceremony. So we found out via text. So it was awesome. But yeah, we had all of our brewer friends texting us, congratulations. So that's how I found out, opening my phone. Congrats, gold, Little Wing. And yeah, it was just incredible. And
I had this explained to me that it's months-long process because everybody submits a beer, and they've got 200 judges, and they can't drink it all in one day. So you submit your stuff, and then you wait a little while, and you find out where you ended up. But when you think of the amount of people that submitted, probably for your category, it has to be one of the busiest and hardest ones to win because you win International Pilsner. That you win the gold medal in the World Beer Cup. You've got to be going up against German breweries that have been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then you find a way to, this brewery right here on the south side of Chicago, right here in Beverly, just outside Evergreen Park. I mean, this is the one that wins it over everybody in the world?
Yeah, so I believe it was 56 countries, and in our category, I believe it was 128 entries. And so
129. So we
129.
bested 128 of them.
So yeah.
So this is, I would say, the staple, the big one. It's always at the top of the list here in Horse Thief. It's been available as long as I've been coming here, and I've been coming here since the place just opened up. You have lots of artwork that shows that there's been tons of conceptual art for it, and how when you canned it, deciding what you want to put on it. And I always got the feeling that it was really important, this beer, to your owner, and Neil liked this beer. And so he must have also been like, holy cow, look how far we've come. Now it's winning an award.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Neil and for me as, Neil's head brewer to be able to bring this accomplishment home, with Morrison's help. And it was huge for us, and it was so awesome because I know that for Neil, it's really a great achievement. And this is our flagship beer. This is our number one seller. Almost everyone who comes here drinks this beer. So to have this happen to a beer such as Little Wing for us it's just really incredible, and can't even say how awesome it is. So
I've been told that Pilsners are one of the harder beers to make because you can't make a mistake with it. Other beers, you can kind of hide flaws. In fact, New England IPAs are essentially beers that are flawed, and then it became something that everybody wanted to drink, this cloudy IPA. So take me a little bit through the process of making this beer. I mean, is this something where you're out there with the slide ruler trying to figure out that you're doing everything perfectly? Is it the cleaning that has to be exact? Take me a little bit through this.
Well, I tell you what, I can speak on the cleaning quite a bit. Cleaning your vessels is definitely very important because those clean vessels are what hold the beer, right? You don't want any infections that could infect the beer. So that's definitely a big issue, big problem when it comes to beer. But we do very well in that aspect. I say Jake could definitely talk more upon the Pilsner itself because he's the one that actually made the award-winning tweaks to it.
Ooh, what award-winning tweaks did you make?
Well, these are trade secrets, but but actually, Dave, the original head brewer here, he originally conceptualized this recipe.
Okay.
So when I took over in 2019, I had a really good base, and Little Wing has always been great, but it's just my nature to constantly be tweaking everything because when you're making beer, I mean, almost up until this point, it's like it can always be better. Right? Like if you don't think your beer can be better, then you're selling yourself and your customers short. So I'm always looking for ways to improve it. So it's always been subtle because I also don't want someone to come in, have a Little Wing today, and then have one tomorrow and be like, oh, this tastes different.
Right.
So any changes that I make are going to be subtle, and I will slowly drift the recipe in one direction or another. So really, and they've all been very small. Like the recipe that I started with was damn near perfect, and a little more hops. We changed. We actually used domestic grown malt instead of German grown malt, and I'm just really proud of that because we're using our own homegrown stuff. German malt is awesome, but so is American malt. So for us to be able to prove to ourselves that the American grown malt can hang with the German maltsters, it really makes me proud.
That's cool.
But yeah, and even to execute the recipe in the cleanest way, it starts on brew day. You have to make a really good wort, which is the unfermented beer or sugar water, essentially. So you need to be technically sound in all your processes. So yeah, Morrison does a ton of the brewing, and the two of us, we've got it down to where we're both doing the same thing, and we're doing the right thing. So beyond the brew day, then you have to have a really healthy fermentation. That's really the biggest key there too, because all the flavors, it needs to be very clean, and that comes from a healthy fermentation, good yeast, and all that good stuff.
Are you going to make any tweaks now? You said you always want to be improving your beer, but I wouldn't touch a thing going forward.
I think
you know exactly what you did in this batch that won, and it's basically we're writing this thing down in ink right now. We're making sure that we know exactly what won the competition.
Yeah, it's cemented. So if there was anything to tell me to stop making tweaks, it was getting the gold at World Beer Cup. So yeah, we're set.
So what's the next goal then? When I drink this, is the next goal winning in another category? Is the goal to repeat? Can you repeat in this thing, or are you just kind of relishing the fact that you won?
We would love to do a repeat next year. I think we are also going to submit this for the Great American Beer Festival this year, and we hope to do well in that as well. But hell, if we took the gold again next year, I don't know how much better I could feel. So that would be cool.
You guys need shirts here with your pictures on it because nobody sees the brewers. You know what I'm saying? I've been here so many times, and this is the first time we met, and you were I think I met you a year or two ago, and I see the people in the front more than I see the brewers. You guys got to be out in the open now a little bit more, I would think. People need to know these are the guys behind the gold medal at the World Beer Cup.
I think for the most part, we just want to showcase the beer. As much as we love to be seen, but the beer is, speaks for itself. So
yeah, and we love to hang out in the tap room after our shift and have a pint with our customers, but a lot of times we miss a lot of people like you because we're there for maybe 20-30 minutes after our shift, and we're sweaty and dirty, so we're not the most public facing people for reasons like that. We need to go home and clean up before we're released to the public. So
well, I don't know. I think I see all these great shirts inside of this place, all this artwork. Somebody needs to commission something that just you get to wear. I made that.
Yeah, I'm down.
I won that award. Right. You need just one identifying thing so people could see it and be like, man, this thing is good. I would assume that if you were telling people, what beer they should try if they've never been to Horse Leaf Hollow, you'd of course say Little Wing. It just won a big award. If there's another one up there that the two of you like, that's what I'm curious of. You're both brewers. You both must have a favorite. I know it's like picking amongst your children which one you love the most, but there's got to be one that you're like, this one I'm really proud of.
So right now I'm a big fan of Boogie Chillin', It's a grapefruit pale ale. It's great for the summer, great for the patio. It's not overly grapefruity. I was not a huge fan of grapefruit, and then I tasted this, and it was just, I mean, we couldn't have done a better job of like threading the needle with the flavor of grapefruit. Plus, I mean, it's summer, citrus, just a good time.
What about you?
Yeah, I concur. But
Oh,
really, I
look
mean,
at you. You
all
just
right.
went with what he had.
All right, so if I'm going to be truthful,
Yeah.
I'm really like a yeast nerd and a fermentation nerd. So we've got our mixed culture saison front flips, and I'm tapping it as soon as we get done with this. The board will be up, but that's really complex and just super refreshing, and that beer showcases what yeast and bacteria and mixed culture fermentation can do. So me as a brewer, I nerd out on that kind of stuff. It's a little more esoteric, but if you're a beer nerd, try our mixed culture stuff when we have it. It takes a long time to make. I mean, we'll spend a year or more aging some of these mixed culture ones. So when they're on, come and try it.
There you go. There you go. You got one right there from one of the brewers here sitting with me. Something that's going up right now,
Yep.
which means it's going to be here if you stop off at Horse Thief Hollow.
Front flips if I didn't name it.
There you go. Okay. Right around 104th, I want to say 104th and Western. Is that
Yeah,
where it's at?
104.26.
104.26 Western. Little Wing is one of your 4 canned beers that people can get right now. You look for that right there, and you grab it up if you want to get it off the shelves. But nothing tastes better than the stuff off the tap in the actual brewery. And if you're nearby, this is a place to go and visit. Maybe you bump into one of these guys, sweaty, after they've done a long day of brewing.
Yeah, we'd love to share a pint with any of you guys. So.
Share a pint with anybody.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to continue to share our pint. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Congratulations.
Really
on the Little
appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's the Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod! Y'all come back now, you hear?